What's going on, y'all? Once again, we back at it on Ontology on part 2, the mysteries of Superman, the Superman mysteries. We stopped at me explaining to you that in Christopher Reeve name, Lucifer and philosopher all intertwined, the three being one. But we stopped at me showing you that in Christopher name it says stop her, but all this means something. I will explain that to you, but first I want to add that there is 11 letters in Christopher name, which is a master number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You'll find that in philosopher there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, 11. Two master numbers. Stop that is stating that inside of Christopher name you see it says stop her. And a lot of people who's watching the channel want to know what that means is coded. Because it says that the ancient ones create you and what you make. The S is dealing with the portal, the crossing over. The S, if you remember, in the Bible, it speaks about Moses holding a cross and a serpent. Because we talk about the Christ energy. We talk about the Christo. See, Christo. We talk about the Christ, which is the pioneer of the third eye. This S represents the serpent crawling up the base of the spine, crossing over. This S is representing sex, the sex act. S, top her. The sex, crawling up, awakening the third eye. 1, 2, 3. Bridging, crossing over into the realms. And the S on top of her. And what's so powerful about this is, remember, the Christian religion is based on a sex act from a being, some say, called God, which gave birth without marriage and gave birth to that states as far as Christ. But this is not dealing with that aspect because this is dealing with something more up to date and more powerful in the sense you'll find that the I is next to the S, which is saying is top her. And I express and explain this to you a little bit more because the S and the L, the S connects to the L. And because of that, let's do math. Doing math, we see that which is up under the S is L, which is the full name L, first letter beginning for Lucifer. So S is the 19th letter in the alphabet, which is 19. L is 12. So when you add up 9 plus 2, 9, 10, 11. To go that master number again. And we have 3. It's important that you see this. Hold on, fam. Let me make that more legible. As you can see, 31 gives power to 13 because that which is right, right is left, and left is right. That which corresponds above also corresponds below. Just as I was showing you that in the movie you seen 32 often because 32 and 23 are one and the same in energy. So what we have here is we have S and L gave power to 13 right here. This is important because it's going to get even more powerful. Let me change up the color so you can see something. I want to add that we're talking about this Christ, this Christo, the third eye. Let's keep in mind that we're talking about that which is the eye of Christ that gave power to the serpent rising up the spine. So S is 19. L is 12, which gave power to. The math that I just showed you was 13. But notice the letter that's in Christ is S. Up under the S is L. And that which corresponds from SL and up under that is O. What does that spell out? What is the letters for sun? So you have the word S, right? L and O. Get power to the word S O L, which means sun. Let me make this legible. They just gave power to the spelling S L O. Just gave power to the word SOL, which means sun. Now, I can't make this up. And if you look in, you will see that from Christ and Lucifer and philosopher, we have the wording 13, sun. But what the answers brought to my attention too, that what you have also that was brought to my light is there's another word that's connected that was hidden. And this word is, the letters is, let's bullet that, S O U L. What did that spell? S O U L says soul. So, when Christopher and Lucifer and philosopher, which makes the power of the third eye, gave birth to the energy that's within inside this Christ, which also is the soul, which is the solar, which makes sense when the father, or the mother rather, said Maglo El was talking about the sun. Now look at this. I bulleted so that we'll see the letters that's spelled soul, SOUL. That spells soul. But notice the number formation of 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot. And then next to the 3, 1, 2, 3 is the 1 that gave power to the 30, that 31 again, which is 13, which also confirms when you look at the math of 19 plus 12 equal 13, giving power to the soul and the sun. We're talking about Lucifer. Notice in the name Christopher, you have the letters HR in Christopher name. That HR is what we use for hours, right? So when you write out HR, you're saying hour, as in the hours in the clock. But don't you know that the hours in the clock is that HR, which is short for hours, equal HOUR, which is decoding for the word Heru. As we say hours, but the word hour, as in the two letters, in the hours of the time, is the hours that equals the days and the hours within a clock. Time, minutes, seconds, and hours. Everything is dealing with Heru, the Christ. So the name Christopher is very powerful because, again, you're talking about beings who placed this in the movie. Remember, a movie is a motion picture, a picture in motion. Remember I told you about the example, and I showed you about E.T. Inside of Christopher, you have again, the eye of Heru, right here. They gave this Christ type, the powers of the third eye to be able to open portals. The S crossing over is with the cross. The S, the sex, remember, the E is silent. The T is really an X. So in actuality, what you see is a sex act. Why did I bring up the topic on sex? Because it goes back in ancient time where we came about Heru, and Christ, the original name was Heru. Then it later became Horus. So we can't talk about Christ without acknowledging the ancestor, the gods of ancient, because it was Osiris and it was Isis who rode Osiris Phallus and gave birth to Heru. I want to bring something else to your attention. I told you about the movie E.T. You'll find that in Christopher and Lucifer's name, you will find a connection here. So, once we pass up the S crawling up the spine, we have a connection here. What did this word spell? O P H E. The letters for what? P H O. The C is nothing more than an N. Look at this. The C, when you turn it sideways, the C is nothing more than an N. So what we have is phone. P-H. Spells out phone. P-H-O-N-E. E-T, phone home. Stay tuned for the breakdown. Coming to you soon on the Superman Mysteries.